It does look good.
It almost looks like a really good
So, hey everyone, how's it going? Brendan Snyder here, Anthony Covielli, filming at Sound Exchange. Awesome record store here. Always enjoyed it myself. You're the owner of it though. So I think so. You think so? On some days, right?
Yeah.
Only the good days.
I'll take the bad days.
So take the bad days too.
Most people hate the bad days, and maybe I can make the bad days good.
Oh.
Which will, be good. Then they'll be fucking good days. It'll be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're all good days.
So I thought we'd talk about how record stores go about pricing. In this case, sort of how you go about it, but just the things that go through your mind.
What's up, buddy?
We got there.
All right, we got a turntable, Techniques SL5200.
Wow.
We are going to test.
Yeah, plugged in it, it turns up. I know that.
I'm in for 60 on it. Yin?
Yeah, I haven't used it in 20 years. So.
It'll take me a little while to
You
get
want
it,
to start using it again?
get it set up and going. So we can start right there at the turntable. You're gonna get
Exactly.
something like that, and you're gonna pay $60 for it.
Okay.
It's gonna sit for a while. I'm gonna put it out for 120.
Yeah.
That's just how it's gonna work. Sometimes you get lucky, you get them cheaper, and you could still put them out for 120 and make more money.
Right, but the idea is always how long something is going to sit.
Most likely,
Right.
these things sit for a long time.
Right.
So I just put out $60. Now imagine you had to multiply that by 100 for a week.
Right. And that's the way to think about it. I wanted to bring that up where the music, you're bringing in CDs, you're bringing in vinyls, you bring in some rare stuff. They're high dollar prices, but you might sit on that for
Look
6
at the
months.
wall. You guys watch the videos,
Yeah.
and you see the stuff that goes
Right?
on the wall. How
all
long
that
has
stuff
beef
that's
art been
back
sitting
there. Right. Everybody keeps asking about that.
You know what? Now that we turn the thing around,
Yeah.
How many of you are going to sit there and say that wasn't there before? That wasn't there before. So there is a lot of new shit on the wall.
Right.
But there's some familiar favorites, like the covered bush, the GNR.
Oh yeah, everybody loves that one. Right?
Baroness has been here for a while.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Beefheart's been here for a while.
So something like this one here, which is not a major named artist, Uncle Sam, right? But it is a rare cover.
It's the
high dollar
That
value.
you're paying for the artwork.
Yeah. So, but how do you decide what to put it on? I know you don't put it out necessarily at like Discog prices.
I don't put it out at Discogs
Right.
or eBay prices. I usually undercut that by 10 to 20 bucks.
Okay.
And you got to remember too, you're going to pay shipping. You don't pay
Right.
shipping here unless you're
Well-
want mail order, and I'll ship it to you.
Right.
But the price is different. What did I pay for it?
Yeah.
Did I get it in a collection where I paid $1 to $5 a record, or did I take it on a trade where I gave somebody $30 for that?
Right.
Everything that comes in here is different, and I price accordingly. So
Right.
you can walk in here, and you can get sometimes you're going to get a decent copy of The Wall for $20.
Mm-hmm. Just
Playable,
depends on how.
looks really
Yep.
clean.
Right. I hadn't thought about that. So if you buy a collection and you're just giving them an overall dollar number for the collection that you're buying, but then within that you have some good finds within it, that could alter how it's priced.
Sometimes you also have to make up for your losses throughout the month or week.
Right.
With oh shit, I got a good score here.
Right.
Where I may have only paid $1 to $5 for the record, but it's
Right.
a $60 record, and I know I can get 60. Sometimes you have to take that jump
Right.
because that's what keeps the doors open.
Sure. And I mean, I've seen you do it too, where you have stuff on the wall, and maybe it's a $60 record, but someone's willing to give you 40 or 50 right there on it, and it has sat there for however long,
Exactly.
a year or something, and you decide to move it to bring some cash in.
And if it's been sitting for 6 months, let's say I did take a trade. Say
Yeah.
I did an even trade
Right.
on a $100 record. By the time you figure out what I paid for what I traded that for,
Yeah.
doesn't matter, that's gone. So now
Right.
I took a $100 trade, guy offers me $80, and I say, okay,
Right.
I lost $20. Anyway, I look at it. And
Right.
that sucks. So that's why sometimes you got to
Yeah.
take a good score.
Sure, absolutely. Now, in terms of new product, right? So we're talking that's stuff that has used that's come in. You're valuing it as best you can on the spot, kind of thing, and then it's how long it takes to turn it around. But you have new product that comes in, and you're pricing that a few dollars above what the cost is on it. But then it's sitting on your floor too for a long time.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, which is sometimes it's sat on the floor so long that when you go to reorder it and it is sold, you've now lost that profit because
that now costs me more than I
Right.
sold it for. Like this Rick Derringer CD that a gentleman in here is purchasing. It's $10.98.
okay,
I I don't want to say I guarantee, but a lot of CDs like this, like a classic Rick Derringer CD,
Right.
widely available. We probably paid $7 or $8 for it.
Okay.
Now, most likely, we're going to pay $11 for it, which is 2 cents less than I'm selling it for.
Right.
And
So what you're selling it for is only going to be as an even trade, meaning if you wanted to bring that back
I want to bring
it's
it
not
back
actually, putting
Yeah.
money into the store.
yeah,
Yeah, I know. And that's, again, part of why I wanted to have this discussion today to talk about that. And then since a lot of people think they've got gold in their record collections at home, where they bring in stuff to trade and they think they're going to get, this high dollar value for it. But what you're bringing in here and then the overhead and all of that to run the store.
people forget I have rent. I got to pay people to work for me.
Yeah.
They forget that I also, I am hungry.
Yeah.
I would like to eat sometimes.
Right. But yeah, rent, electric, paying employees to work here, your salary, like all of that sort
And I'm
of
really
stuff.
still only pricing my shit 20 to 25% above what I'm paying for it.
Right.
It should be 30 or more. But I'm trying to do what I can to get more music
Right.
into people's hands. So hopefully I move a little more, which covers that little bit of a nut that's missing from the 30%.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got your used CDs that are the buy 3, get 2 free.
They come out to about $5 a piece.
Right. So they vary in price. There's $5.99s up to $8 or $9.99s
Yeah.
within there. It depends on what you find in there. But if you buy 3, you're getting 2 free.
Which that's what I'm saying. It comes
Yeah.
to. And then
Right,
some
then it
people
brings
bitch
it down.
about, oh, your used CDs are too high. I can get them for $1. You go
Yeah.
go to the flea market that
The
you're talking about,
Salvation
getting the
Army,
CDs for
right.
$1. There's no organization. We spend time organizing. Every used CD on my wall is alphabetical.
Yeah.
If I sell one, I have another. I have a system to know that I have another, and I make sure it's put
I
right
always
back
say
out.
too, the stuff that you're going to find at the flea markets and the record shows or whatever, where they are $1, $2 a piece, it's like your dollar cart that's out there. It's the most mass-produced, oversold albums.
Yeah.
It's not going to be those, I don't want to call them rarities, but it's the lesser-known albums. Whereas if you come into a record store that has a big wall of used CDs, or even for you vinyl fanatics, the used vinyl, that's different than the stuff that's on the dollar cart. Now, you may occasionally have a rare score in that, but it is extremely rare. So people like you and I've got 12,000 CDs. I can't go to a flea market, or the, I don't know, Salvation Army or something like that, and expect to find anything within that. First of all,
It's
the
not
collections
even-
are just too small. So that notion of the whole, I can get it for $1, I can get it for $2 is, how many garage sales are you going to go through before you find
I just
that
also
one?
don't have that drive.
Yeah.
I like the organization now because I have so much. I don't want to go through it. There's thousands of used CDs here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't imagine if they were just put on the wall.
Oh, I could,
No,
yeah.
I would
And-
not buy.
And I've been to some of those record stores, and it's maddening. And I rarely go back to them for that exact reason.
Yeah.
And I was just at one, and it was like going through this stuff, and I lost interest partway through. I didn't even complete the whole section. Not even like, it's not an alphabetized, so I can't even say I stopped off at like.
And then your whole
letter
thing is
D.
depressing because you're thinking, holy shit, I still have 20 more letters to get through, and I
Right.
don't care.
Exactly, and it's because I'm going through just crap.
And that's also good for the kids.
Yeah.
Where we hit a certain point in life, whether it's age or collection size.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Not much.
Where we want that organization,
Yeah.
and I'm going to pay for that organization.
Yeah,
because
right.
I want to. Yeah,
And it's an experience. But then that's also the thing. Coming into a record store is experience. It's the alphabetized wall. It's the collection of an artist being here, knowing you can get multiple artists or albums from that artist, that sort of thing. Whereas,
where can you find the entire Allman Brothers discography used in alphabetical order?
Yeah. Or
And I'm
you're-
not just talking about the first 10 records. I'm
No.
talking about the shit from the 80s, the
Yeah.
live stuff. I mean, look at the size of the Allman Brothers.
Yeah, you've got that sort of stuff here. And going around, it's the same thing.
And that's used. New, we
Yeah.
have.
I came back today to pick up a Batfinger album that I can't find anywhere online, but you've got it, And people forget that you're paying for that as well, for having that sort of collection here, for having that availability to that level of product. And, that goes into pricing stuff as well because
Pricing sucks.
Yeah.
Everything about having
Yeah.
to price things sucks because I'd rather just give shit to everybody. But
Right.
I don't have any fuck you money to do that.
No, I know. But occasionally you can. I mean, you did some good karma earlier today with an amp. You had some amps downstairs. A kid came in. Guitar player, bass player, what was it?
He plays both.
Both, okay. And he needed an amp. And Anthony had a couple of them downstairs and gave him one. And that's awesome. That kid is going to remember that forever. You know, I just think that's so cool. I mean, I think we've all had cool experiences like that. But I've seen you do that too with albums. You're a young kid in here, you're like, I'll take both of these, you know, or do it at a discount, I think, because you can.
Yeah.
So
Hi,
that sort of
Ollie.
stuff you pass that stuff on.
Anthony,
You want to keep their belief alive.
What's up?
You never stop over there.
It's
today.
been busy since I walked in today. Normally I got that like first 30 minutes where I can say
I
hi.
know.
I didn't get to do that.
I
I'm a
know.
shithead.
All right, so
So
back to
pricing
this.
sucks.
Yeah, pricing is miserable.
Right. It's like between ordering and pricing, and of ordering, that has to do with pricing, and those are the things that suck.
There was also a point in time when you bought any form of music, and let's say 1980, every record probably, I ordered it, it would probably cost me, let's say $5. Everything was $5. Doubles might have been $6.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a standard then.
There was a standard. So you walked into a record store and every release in the store was $8.98.
Right. Yeah, it was like CDs in the 90s. 1898 was a
They
standard
were the
price.
same. Everything was priced the
Right.
same across the board. Now everything is so.
Thank you. Love
Right.
you.
Everything is so insane. So Lana Del Rey. I just priced out 2 Lana Del Rey CDs,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, there's a $3 difference in cost. Why?
Between two different albums.
2 different albums.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Right, and then so now that puts it on you to figure out how much you're putting those out at. You know.
Yeah.
And we talked.
And you
a
want to
little
do
bit-
the 20%.
Right.
And 20%, again, that's too low. I'm pushing the 25 now.
Right,
But
right. But we talked about this in the last episode, which is what it's like to own a record store. And we touched on the fact of you having 2 distribution companies you go through. One, to get things here quicker, but also because sometimes the cost is different between them. And if you order from one, you might be able to put it out for a little less.
Well, yeah, let's a good example of what we're about to talk about. I
Okay.
haven't put it out yet. There's a Motley Crue.
All right. Love Motley
Motley
Crue.
Crue, Carnival of Souls.
Yeah, I
So-
saw it. Okay.
Right? I don't know what it's out of print. This is the only version available.
Right. So,
Now-
but you just got that in. So how does that work? You got that in
Because the distributors have shit
They
from
still
all
have
over the
left.
world.
Oh, okay.
So this should be selling for over $40. I got it out for $34.98 because the distributor was able to adjust the price. So he took $5 off, $6 off the price, which is great.
Because they want to move it.
Now I could have been a dick and still put it out for $40 and waited for it to sell. No,
Right,
man.
right.
I took that off the price. So $40.98, I believe, was listed on this. It's now $34.98. That's the $6 I saved.
Right,
I'm
passed
able
on.
to put it out for that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Which, I mean, again, but going back to the everything being on the same line, same price, how
Yeah.
great would that be if you just took out your box of CDs?
Right.
$8.98, $8.98, $8.98, $8.98, $8.98, $8.98.
I know.
Instead of looking through, 180 titles
To
that
figure
we got
out. Mm-hmm.
in this week on CD and saying, fuck.
Right.
They're
$10.98,
so-
$11.98,
oh my
$12.98.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's even that way with brand new stuff that's in print, just getting released.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like you can't even stick that all out at the same.
No, every new release, there is between $12.98 and $17.98 on that board. Those are all single disc new CDs, except for that Allman Brothers, which is 20. It's a double CD,
Yeah.
and the Beatles. But all the single disc shit, just pull that and look at the price.
I mean-
$12.98, $17.98, $16.98, $14.98, $12.98, $13. What the fuck?
Yeah. I know. There's no consistency in it. I've seen some coming out now where they're on sale new at $21. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Not doubles? Not anything special? No bonus material? It's just, that's what it is? I'm
That's
like, are
what-
you
yeah.
crazy? Buy 2 CDs for that.
Yeah,
So
it's it's an interesting world having to price and do that stuff. What do we think's on the? Make a leg a high, make a Johnny ho. Are you selling records, or do you want? Or am I selling records? Yeah, bring them in. What are you selling?
But anyway, so there you go. You got, someone calling you up. It's got a whole collection of stuff. They're going to bring it in for you, and you're going to have to go through figuring out how to price that when it gets here.
Yeah, well, you know,
Right.
and then you have
but you got quality issues.
Well,
I mean,
there's
that's
guys who
kind
will
of
come in and they'll trade you. Yeah, quality is
the whole-
everything.
right.
Yeah, you know, I could have an Injustice for All record on the wall
Yeah.
for $125. That
Yeah.
thing's a fucking mint
Yeah.
original.
Yeah, I know. I just saw that you had just.
Now, if
put
I
this
had one that was kind of beat up or scratched up,
Right.
it'd be $50.
right, but this one, perfect corners on things. Oh, that was another point I wanted to bring up is that with stuff like that, you're taking that into account. Are there
Well,
any
the guy's
bends? Are there
going
any
to walk in
dings?
and it's going to be all banged up, scratched
right.
up. It could be missing a record.
Yeah,
And the guy's
right.
like, "Well, you have one on the wall for $100,
Right,
and he
right.
doesn't understand. You're missing one of the
Right.
one of the records that come in the sleeve. Yeah, but you got. If I could see it on eBay for fucking $200, I'm like, bro, you're missing
right.
a record.
Or the ones
This
that
has
bring
happened
in
before.
the CDs with the booklets, but no jewel cases or anything.
What
so
do you
they-
mean you can't take
Yeah,
this?
exactly.
I need the whole package.
You don't
man.
have the inlay anymore.
Yeah. You all set?
Yeah.
All right. So the pricing sucks.
Yeah, I know. That's the hard thing.
It's not even that it's not hard to read something off a paper and say this is a list. And that's another thing too.
Right.
Suggested list. I have 2 distributors. You've seen those invoices.
Yeah, they give you-
Suggested list is massively difference between the two
Right.
companies.
And really-
one is $27.98,
Yeah.
one's $32.98.
And in both cases, you wouldn't even normally usually do that, which is kind of the crazy thing. If you see what is the suggested, it's like, I wouldn't put it out for that. So then on top of that, you're still having to figure things out. You can't even really follow.
Everything that comes in, I have to go through line for line because
Yeah.
if you don't look, sometimes
Uh-huh.
suggested list is $12.98, and you're like, okay, then you mindlessly mark it at $12.98, not realizing that the actual thing cost you $11.72.
Oh. So why would they suggest
I
that
don't
then?
because there's no order. There's
Well, basically,
no
they're going to
organization
make the
on
amount
their
of
end.
and they're going to make the money that they're going to make,
And they're fine. Fuck
That's right.
you.
Right.
You deal with
So
it.
they've raised their price on it, but they're still telling you to put it out at what is maybe the original or reasonable sale.
Well, a dollar's not a reasonable sale. I just think that they're
No, not
they're
for
far
you,
behind.
but okay.
They just haven't updated everything
Oh.
yet. It's if you're going to buy a shop and you're going to do stuff like this and you're going
Mm-hmm.
to stock new stuff,
Right.
go through everything you order new line for line and make
Yeah.
sure you're not overcharging people. Make sure you're not undercharging so you can still stay in business.
Right.
And don't be a dick with your prices.
Yeah,
Half
absolutely.
of it is that you want to be able to keep
Well-
people wanting to come in saying, I'm going to go there,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be able to buy records, and it's not going to break my bank unless
Yeah.
I choose it.
Right,
Which is
right.
going to be buying $1,000 worth of
But
stuff.
there are a lot of stores that are kind of going with the model of collector pricing.
Oh my, yeah,
And
and
it's
they're
like-
doing that with new stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Or used stuff, and I go in there and it's like used CDs for $25, and I'm like, are you
A new
kidding?
Lana Del Rey LP, it's bad enough it's listed for $45.
Yeah.
But you go into some of these stores, they're charging you $60. It's the same thing I'm selling for $45.
Right, right.
Because of that, you put a name on it. I'm glad
Yeah.
you did that. Collector price.
Yeah, it's collector pricing. It's just, and I've seen it across
That's
the board.
people
It just-
being dicks.
Yeah, and I stopped going to those record stores for those reasons.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going to figure it out eventually. They're wondering why people aren't coming in, why they're not moving the amount of product they used to, and it's the pricing. But of course, you got to balance that because if prices are going up through these distributors and stuff, you know, you got to bring yours up as well. It's
Stay
just how-
with your 20. And there's
Yeah.
also, let's take stuff that you know is going to blow out of here.
Yeah, it's
Like I
gonna
sell
move
System of a
fast.
Down all the time, right?
Right.
So
You don't need to put that up super high because
I can
you
sell
can,
them for the $22.
Right.
Because they sell so much. But that's another thing too. Let's talk about System of a Down. They've got 4 albums out.
Okay.
How come list on them is $22 or 20, whatever,
Yeah, well,
22 or
yeah.
20 bucks? That's awesome.
You just mentioned that with the Black Sabbath being what, 25?
25. Sabbath
Right.
is 25 across the board.
And Black Sabbath moves. And 25 is a reasonable amount.
Why aren't artists selling enough records? We're finally in a market, in a place
Yeah.
where people are buying again and you can
Right.
move units,
Right.
which is all that they're counting on.
Yeah.
Drop the price back on the units, just like everybody else is.
Right.
Or not like everybody. Just drop
Sure.
the price back on the units to something more reasonable and affordable, and people will buy more.
Right.
A kid can come in here and buy a Lana Del Rey album, and he could buy 3 of them.
Right.
Or 2 of them.
Right.
They were fairly priced, but they're not. They're $40-something a piece.
Exactly.
Except for the Born to Die, I think that's 28.
Yeah, so I mean that's always going to be the thing, figuring out what's price to put it out, whether you want to move it fast or whether you want to sit on it and try and make a bit more. But
I want it out of here. I want
Yeah.
that to be on somebody's turntable or somebody's tape deck or in their CD player, and I want them cranking it or
Yep.
sitting back, zoning out, whatever they do to it.
And that's the difference for you. I mean, you're a music fan first and
Yeah.
a record store owner second.
Exactly.
And that comes through.
I make my living selling records,
Yeah.
but I do it because I love it.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to fall into this, so
Mm-hmm.
it's awesome.
Well, thank you, Anthony. I
man.
appreciate you sharing your insight into how the record store does pricing, what goes through your mind in it, and giving us, you know, the viewer, some insight into this so we can understand what's going on and know better too when we're going to and from other record stores.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Take care. Have a good time, and we'll see you on the next
Thanks
episode.
for watching.
Bye-bye. All right, so you guys saw in the video, Anthony bought himself a new record player. And it's already on the floor. Slipped out of his hands. So what's the value of that record player now? I don't think it's 100, 120 you're going to put it out? Yeah. These
I
things,
don't think about such things. Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter, does it?